our next question is about your role as an instructor, sorry, of learning. How are you getting teachers to first adopt the fluency model? And second, how are you getting them to connect teaching and learning across the curriculum, whether that be in math or science or any other subject for that matter, to the real world in their classrooms?
As I mentioned previously, we started with a small group and we engaged in a lot of professional learning. And you and Ian were very pivotal in that process of helping us with that. And from that success, we adopted this approach with the whole staff. And we had lots of professional learning sessions. And I led a lot of them as well. And it just gave staff a deeper understanding of the solution fluency and the 9Ds of real-world problem solving. We then worked with teachers to research, plan, design effective teaching strategies and programs that were centered around the 9Ds. We engaged in a lot of collaborative sessions, professional dialogue, to evaluate and modify those programs. And we have continued to do that over time. Mm-hmm. And as I said before, as the instructional leader, I modeled the 9Ds framework and explicitly showed teachers how to teach this style of teaching and that it can be successful. And we then did a session where all of the staff shared their successes. This is over a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we shared lots of successes, which was it was probably the pivotal moment because it promoted a lot of positive discussion, reflections on the 9D process. People brought new ideas to these sessions. And then teachers went and took those new ideas and thought, they're fantastic, I'm going to use that. Yeah. And that just helped move it along. It improved their teaching practice of their modern learning pedagogy. And look, also, I think since beginning this journey, it's become embedded into their practice, this real world problem solving. The students are engaged in both teacher and student-centered, student-led inquiry. And we've related our problems to school-based, community-based, and then wider world. And then another part I would like to say, another important part of this process was to actually inform parents about this journey we were going on, and about these pedagogical changes, because parents would probably be a little bit unsure about, they're used to this traditional approach of teaching because that's how they were brought up. Mm-hmm. So we needed to inform them of the why we were going down this journey and, showcasing how we were doing that in the classroom and getting them involved in that buzz and excitement and seeing a classroom and how it could work. So, and Ian and yourself were involved in those parent presentations as well and helped inform the parents of the reasons for this journey.
So actually my two key takeaways from what you, how you responded to this question, the two key takeaways for me is definitely the sharing. I really like that, like sharing successes. It's a way of celebrating as well, and also that taking and adopting other people's ideas and getting a bigger pool. And the other thing I like is parent involvement, because how else do you get parent support is by making them aware of what's going on, and I really like that approach. So question 5 is about, what is the process and what are the strategies you use to get teachers to plan how to use a solution or a problem-solving approach in your classroom?
Well, they have the framework
Mm-hmm.
of the 9Ds to help them plan the units.
Yeah.
That helps them, you know, get that unit into some sort of sequence,
Mm-hmm.
and to help them plan around that.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, after doing this for quite a few years, we have developed a scope and sequence
Mm-hmm.
in the school. And the reason for this was, you know, when we first adopted this journey, they were really learning about the framework.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time the problems were contrived a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we've now want to make it even more real. And we want to make it so that the students are more invested in it because it is real.
Yeah.
So as a staff, we decided that by building a scope and sequence, we could actually allocate it so that the younger students in early stage 1 and stage 1, they were more looking at more school-based problems that they could relate to as students.
They could connect with that. Yeah.
Yeah. In stage 2, we decided they would look more at community-based problems, a little bit outside the school. And then with the older students, the stage 3 students, more going into more of a global world problems.
Wow. That's an interesting approach. I like it.
Yeah. And then we've asked the students to actually contribute to the types of problems that they would like to solve, as well as the staff. And I think that's important because that gives an opportunity for student voice. And the students are going to be more invested in it because it's a problem that they see that they want to solve. They're going to be more passionate about that. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of helping with the process, the strategies that we also designed some posters. Okay. And that helps the teachers and the students because it's a visual. They're all displayed in all the rooms. And it gives a visual about each 9D and what's involved in that D. So we did that. And another thing that we have also been invested in as a staff is that we've designed templates. And those templates help plan the units. Mm-hmm. They also help with various stages of the Ds. So there's templates for the design stage, the deliver stage, the diagnose stage. And obviously they just keep building and being created to enhance it, and to also, if it might be that it's more suitable for a particular unit than another. Wow. So all these strategies that we've put in place have helped support the process and have helped them plan that problem-solving approach in their classroom.
Wow. Actually, there's some amazing stuff there, you know, the strategies that you guys have put in place. And, you know, I'd like to just say to participants or people viewing, our viewers, that, you know, when we have our workshops, we would love for you to share some of your templates and your, absolutely, and your framework. That would be amazing because, as you said, you know, teachers like to see what other people are doing or what they have done and what worked. And, you know, having somebody from grassroots, being a teacher, being an educator, you know, and then training other teachers and supporting them, it just couldn't get better because you've done it. You've walked the talk, let's put it that way. And I think
and
viewers
for teachers to embrace this, and as we all know, teachers love to share things. Yeah. And when you share, it spreads the word, it spreads the love.
Absolutely.
So
I
always
just
happy
love
to
it.
share.
Oh my goodness. This is just amazing. You know, I'm actually lost for words to see the journey that your school has taken. So my next question is, and this is in 3 parts. So I'm going to say first, how did teachers respond to this change in teaching and learning? And I know some of it you've already answered with saying that they saw the success, they were motivated, and and saw the kids' engagement and stuff like that. So the second part is, how did students respond? Now I'm looking at the students respond to this change in teaching and learning. And third, how did parents respond to this change in teaching and learning?
Okay, so as you said, I've sort of answered the first part, which is about the teachers, but I think such a profound change in teaching practice could potentially lead to anxiety and resistance. And I'm not saying it was all roses.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I do believe that the approach that we took through collaboration, mentoring, and quality professional learning supported the teachers to teach these modified units, and it helped them to upskill them. It helped them build confidence. And I think having that relational trust as a leader and their respect of me as a teacher, because as you said, I was walking the talk.
Absolutely.
And I was in the classroom. It allowed them to embrace this change and strive to implement it into their teaching pedagogy. We finding now that most teachers are feeling comfortable in teaching real-world problem solving and teaching this framework. We have put systems in place that when we get new staff, that we train them in the solution fluency and the 9Ds. And I still, as an instructional leader, go in and support and mentor and model. And the teachers have reported that they feel more comfortable, they feel supported, and that they're seeing the students are highly engaged. And that's keeping it alive, really. Mm-hmm. In terms of the students, we have actually done many surveys, pre and post. So we do have data to show this impact. And many of the students can express the 9Ds and articulate them quite fluently, which is part of what we wanted. And a lot of them have stated that they would like to continue with this style of teaching. They really like it. Mm-hmm. They feel engaged and excited about it. And in terms of the parents, we have surveyed the parents as well. Interestingly, when we asked what was the number one ideal future, the number one thing that you would like to see in your school, apart from literacy and numeracy, the number one future ideal educational environment that parents wanted was real-world problem solving. And that ranked number one with literacy and numeracy. Wow. So I thought that, if anything, that was a really showed the impact and the invested interest of the parents.
Absolutely.
They've also believed that the teaching the 9Ds has increased the engagement of their kids. And I think one thing which has been a real game changer for parents was the Learning Expo that we held, which the kids showcased their learning to the parents, and the parents got to understand the process through their children and got to see their students articulating their learning to their parents. So
that's amazing. That's an amazing journey. So is that it for Ashley? Do you want to add anything else, or can I move on to the next question?
I think that says it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Teachers, students, and parents. So yeah.